Well, the big problem for Dallas last season was their play on the defensive end. They just didn't do enough to slow teams down. What can they do to improve that, Shaq?
Well, first, they got to have a rim protector on the floor at all times. Can't be passive about letting perimeter players get into the teeth of their defense and score. You need a rim protector.
I don't know. They did a poor job of rebounding last year, Shaq, and second worst in the league in the percentage of defensive rebounds grabbed. So I don't know if they can change that. It's going to be difficult.
That'll do it for us. For now, cannot thank you enough for tuning in.
Your 6'5" guard out of Western Kentucky, number 5, Courtney. At small forward, at 6 foot 9 inches, number 32, Jeff Green. Number 50, Zach Randall. Number 11, Mike Conley. Number 33, Mark Gasol. Your head coach is David Yeager. Once again,
It's the NBA on 2K Sports. This is Kevin Harlan alongside Clark Kellogg and Greg Anthony. It's Western Conference NBA action. The Memphis Grizzlies here at home. And this matchup with Dallas, it's their first meeting of the season. In a season ago, Clark, they won the matchup, winning 3 and losing just 1.
And they usually came out on top when these two teams faced off last year. No surprise, they're the better team.
Yeah, and very tough to beat when they're playing up to their capabilities. That's why they're one of the top teams in the league.
Now a chance, courtesy of Gatorade, all fueled up and ready to go. The starting 5 on the floor. On the court for the Mavericks, Parsons and Dirk are in at the forward spots. Matthews out there with Williams, and it's Pachulia in at the center filling out the middle. Parsons on the wing, back to Williams. To the wing on the left, Nowitzki gets a wide open look. Good, and it's Williams who picks up the assist. Nowitzki's got himself going there, his first points of the game on the deep ball.
And you know, one thing about Darren Williams, he used to get to the charity stripe at will. At the height of his career, he's averaging almost 6 free throws a game. The last couple seasons, he's been down around 3.
Here's Matthews. That's good. Matthews has got his first 2 points.
Well, that fast break went according to plan.
Yeah, nice job there, Greg. Recognizing the opportunity was there to push it, and then excellent execution.
Now here's Randolph. He's a good contributor to his team, averaging about 10.5 points a game.
Yeah, well done to finish that one off.
Dallas with the ball. It's a 3-point game. They come into this one following a loss to the Thunder.
Guys, it was like there was a lid on the basket in that game. No matter how many plays you make at the defensive end, hard to overcome such a lack of production offensively.
Well, you know, the high-quality shots were few and far between for them, guys. And they have nobody to blame but themselves for that. You've got to do a better job of working harder to put up points.
And finished off by Gasol.
Pretty passive. Timely recognition as to where the open man was.
Last outing for Memphis, they won that game against San Antonio.
And you know what? Exactly what had to be done in terms of winning on the road. Never allowed any momentum to build up against them. Kept the crowd out of the game. And for every punch they took, they had a counter.
I was very impressed, Greg, with the way they stood their ground, even when they were on their heels some, coming through those moments where they were backing up a bit. That's what it takes on the road. You've got to show that kind of fortitude and resilience.
Here's Parsons, and he stuffs it. What a pass to set him up.
Well, that's a great pass by Darren Williams.
And now Doris Burke has an update from the sidelines.
Kevin, earlier I had a chance to speak with Rick Carlisle. He brought up Marc Gasol, a kind of sleeper player he thinks could give them trouble. Coach said he's a guy 7 foot plus He's very skilled, can shoot and finish over either shoulder, and he doesn't shy away from contact. He's a guy you have to really pay attention to. And I've told our guys, we can't let him have a big game. Fellas, we'll see how they do against him.
Thanks again, Doris. Lee dishes to Randolph. The shot will not go. And it's Dallas the other way. Big change last year for the Mavs came when they traded for Rajon Rondo. It looked to be the missing piece for him, Clark, but boy, it just never seemed to come together.
You just don't know. Trades are always risky. You don't know how they're going to work out, and I give credit to ownership for talking to the players to see what they thought about the trade before they actually made the deal.
Outside Williams. And here in the first quarter, with a little over 3.5 minutes played, Julia, good.
Well, Merry Christmas. I mean, that was a freebie.
The Grizzlies trail by 5.
And things just didn't really work out with Rondo here with the Mavs. Missed a lot of games and at times clashed with that coaching staff.
Fires it up. Nowitzki, no good. And it's Memphis on the break. And it's Green slapping it down.
Excellent work there in transition.
Yeah, I think it's always better to go early in transition, to attack when it's there, because oftentimes you can beat the defense down the floor.
And the highlight reel replay brought to you by Kia. Good stuff on that Kia Slam Cam. And so here is Dallas following the score by Memphis. And the shot is good.
And, you know, they said it was the injury, but you have to suspect the Mavs just shut him down in the playoffs. They took a big swing and missed with Rondo in acquiring him, but I think you have to give them credit for at least taking the risk.
So timeout called here, the first for Memphis. Well, for Darren Williams, the injury-riddled campaigns just keep piling up.
Yeah, it's almost difficult to watch considering how good he was when he was healthy. I mean, you're talking about one of the most explosive players in the game over the last decade at the point guard spot. But the injuries, hard to overcome.
Catching up on the changes for Memphis. Brandon Wright's checked in for Randolph. Barnes comes in for Green. Tony Allen's checked in for Lee. And it's Udrich in for Mike Conley. And a new group getting ready for Dallas. Charlie Villanueva's checked in for Pachulia. Anderson comes in for Dirk Nowitzki. Harris is checked in for Wesley Matthews. And Barea subbed in for Williams.
And guys, for Darren Williams last season, all those injuries finally affected his shooting. 39% from the field last year, the second lowest mark of his career, and he just couldn't create space or elevate to get the clean looks he had grown accustomed to.
Villanueva, good, and it's Barea who picks up the assist. Villanueva's got his first points of the night.
Make it 10 of their last 12 points coming off assists.
You have to love the ball movement.
Feeds to Wright. It's Allen on the wing. That one wide left.
And, you know, talking about Darren Williams, last year wasn't all bad. I mean, nearly 7 assists a game, 3.5 rebounds, a steal. Not the stocking stuffer he used to be, but he still battled and still contributed.
Now, here's Barea. He's guarded by Udrich. Barea kicks to Villanueva. His shot is good, making him a perfect 2 for 2 from the floor.
Every time they get scored on during this run, it's come from inside the paint.
Yeah, they have really owned the interior. You've got to collapse that defense and force them to beat you over the top.
And there's the basket. Whistle blows and a chance for a three-point play. Going to the line for one.
No clue how he got that one to fall.
And that was not a soft foul he had to get through, Greg. I mean, he had to really power that one up and in.
The Grizzlies shooting their first free throw tonight.
And they've done some really nice work at the foul line, knocking down 80%.
One of the things they've done, guys, is taken pride in their free throw shooting this season, and rightfully so.
17 seconds left to play here in the first. Now, here's Barea. Defense right on him. Left side, Harris. 1 second left. And they're scoring pretty well as we conclude the first quarter. Mavericks lead by 4. And the second quarter will be on the way when we come back.
And I can't quit, all I know is HBK, yeah, you know how we and I can't quit, all I know is HBK, yeah, you know how we
And Dirk Nowitzki steadily climbing the all-time scoring rankings. He talked about the remarkable journey of his long and illustrious career.
When I first got here, my first year was so tough that I didn't really know that I can make it in this league. To be named with all these names is an unbelievable honor, and it's been a crazy ride.
Dirk has proven himself through the test of time. As tough as it may have been back in his rookie year, he overcame those obstacles to become this elite NBA player, Clark, destined for the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, people now talk about players being a Dirk Nowitzki type. And that's a type any team would like to have. One of the greatest power forwards in NBA history, for sure.
And the first quarter is in the books. Second about ready to get underway. And let's quickly check out the scoring breakdown here for the Mavericks.
Fellas, they're passing the ball the way you're supposed to here in this first half.
The other thing that's helped them early tonight are the points they've been able to convert off turnovers.
On the floor for Dallas, we've got Matthews. Nowitzki is out there with Charlie Villanueva. Then there's Darren Williams. And it's Barea in at point guard. First free throw is good. Well, you have to respect the way Vince Carter has just aged gracefully. A superstar in his day, Clark. You knew his game so well. Even in his late 30s, he's still getting it done.
Got a lot that he brings to the table still, Kevin. I mean, not just to score. He can pass, defend, rebound, and not to mention his veteran leadership and savvy.
And also, guys, Vince Carter is tireless in what he calls his old man workouts. I mean, keeping his body healthy and up to the challenge of the long NBA season. Not to mention holding on to some of that bounce from his younger days. Every now and then, he'll give us a little taste of Vinsanity.
Now Villanueva. Dirk Nowitzki missing from long range. Now Matthews. He had a 15-point outing in their last game against Oklahoma City.
Yeah, but Kevin, a lot of those points came at the line. I mean, he was aggressive to attack the D, not settling, and really did a good job of cashing in on those free throws. Almost an impossible shot to block in the post. The defender can't give up that much of a height advantage and expect to contest it. And BC in the second year of a 3-year deal, he struggled to make shots last season. We'll see if this proves to be a bounce-back season for him.
Boy, with an open look like that, he is so gifted. Man, you've got to play better defense. Eventually, he's going to make you pay.
Yeah, you can see he's still in rhythm, even though he misses that one almost always deadly when he's that open.
Here's Green following the score by Dallas. So they take the lead. Lee's got the lead up to 1 now for Memphis.
And that's one of his strengths, knocking down those long-range jump shots.
Kicks it out to Nowitzki. Dallas moving it around. And J.J. Barea the bucket on the assist by Matthews. Barea's got 5 now.
And they're just raining threes on both ends.
Boy, I love the answer. You come at me with the 3, I'm coming right back with my own triple.
Now here's Lee. Last game he had 12. Here's Randolph. Buries it down low. Randolph's got it all tied up now for the Grizzlies. The Mavericks have gone 2 of 6 in the field in the second quarter so far. Here's Villanueva, and he gets it to go, hitting off the back of the rim. He's got 6.
It's really hard not to notice the difference in the passing of these two teams today.
Yeah, it's a stark discrepancy when you look at the assist columns and you see that difference as far as the fluidity in their respective offenses.
Williams kicks to Matthews. Nowitzki sets a screen for Matthews. Pass to Nowitzki. The rebound by Jeff Green.
And he's really having all sorts of problems with his jumper right now.
Yeah, big time. I mean, the words that come to mind, ice and cold and disappearing stroke, all with a block.
And Courtney Lee gets the whistle that time. That is his first foul of the game. Marc Gasol is checked in for Memphis. Dallas also making some changes. Pachulia comes in for Charlie Villanueva. And Harris subbed in for J.J. Barea. Nowitzki, no good.
He's been wayward and just off on about everything he's put up in this period.
They kick it out to Green. Conley with a wide open look. And again, it's Memphis with the three.
Talk about doing a Rip Van Winkle on defense. Come on, guys, wake up. Why are they leaving him open at the three-point line? Come on.
And he'll shoot free throws here. Clearly fouled on that shot that time. The whistle blowing.
Wes Matthews, a hard-nosed player on the wing. Strong frame, and he really does put it to good use at both ends.
Speaking of Matthews' strength, he really gets into you defensively.
Yeah, he wants to make you feel it. I mean, very physical. And offensively, he likes to post up and back down weaker, smaller defenders. I mean, you give him that mismatch, he will attack it with vigor.
So Memphis going with almost an entire new group here. Brandon Wright's checked in for Randolph. Barnes comes in for Jeff Green. Allen's checked in for Lee. And it's Udrich in for Mike Conley. And when you watch Wes Matthews, you see he's just a fantastic perimeter defender, Clark. He can match up well at either the two or the three.
His combination, Kevin, of length and strength and lateral movement make him an outstanding defensive player.
Now here's Anderson after the Marcus Holmes. He was all alone on that one. 7 points for Wesley Matthews. Memphis has gone 2 of 3 when they've stepped beyond the arc in the second quarter. To the paint, here's Wright, and down it goes, jamming that one home.
Udrich with the excellent feed that time.
A minute 50 left in the first half of the game.
And for Matthews, you know, he knows that he's a strong defender. And so last year, his claim was that he was the best two-way shooting guard in the NBA.
Here's Udrich after the made shot from Chandler Parsons. Here's Gasol. And foul called as he misses. He'll go to the line and shoot two.
Listen, he has a chance to be considered the best two-way player at his position, and not sure if he is the clear-cut winner of that debate, but he is in the conversation.
Free throw drops for Gasol. Last season, Memphis fell late and would end up with the 5th seed in the NBA playoffs. Only one of 2 teams to make the playoffs each of the last 5 seasons, along with the San Antonio Spurs.
Yeah, and they were a team that nobody wanted to play. Memphis drew Portland in that first round, and even though they were the 5th seed, they had home court advantage.
Now here is Harris. Still getting warmed up offensively. No buckets yet in the game for him.
Oh, boy. Woo-hoo. Sweet move. Tough finish. What a play.
Gasol on the high post. Pass to Udrich. Over to the left wing. Out of bounds. Dallas will take possession.
You know, guys, Memphis waltzed through the first round against Portland. The second round, a lot tougher against Golden State. They went up 2-1 in that series, but couldn't hold on to that lead.
1:06 left in the first half.
Timeout charge to Dallas.
And Dallas calls their first timeout of the game.
And guys, Memphis would lose 2 of their 3 games at home against Golden State. So things got tough with the Conley injury and missing Tony Allen as well. But they did put up a good fight, ultimately, though, falling in 6 games to the Warriors.
Harris outside. Outside Matthews. He kicks it to Anderson. Fires the 3. The rebound by Gasol.
And no excuse there for missing that one after being freed up by a great pick.
Yeah, I agree with you. I mean, they came away empty, but they got the look they wanted, and really, I like the movement and communication there.
And the Mavericks with possession here, following the score by Memphis. Matthews into the lane, and he makes it look easy, dunking it hard with one hand.
And that's how it's done. I mean, find that hole in the D and then go hard to the rack.
Maybe that hole was a little bigger than it should have been.
Well, it was. I mean, a tight game like this one, you'd think they'd have a little more energy at the defensive end than that.
Yeah, that's a tough call right there, and really a tough break for the D.
Greg, no problem for me with that call. I mean, he was still sliding right there.
2 shots.
And so Wright nails both of them.
You know, they've changed their game here in the second, getting a little bit more physical, playing with some toughness now.
And I'm looking for them to increase that lead if they can keep getting to the free throw line.
The timely screen gave him a step, and he took it all the way.
Really aggressive play there, taking it to the rack against the big fella.
You know, Greg, aggressiveness is really the only option when you're on the wrong side of the size equation.
Second chance shot, and all around the rim that time before dropping in. Wright's got 6.
And the rebound and the follow show you what he is all about. Gritty and determined with a soft touch to match.
And a pretty tightly contested game here as we end the first half. Memphis out in front. They lead by 2. We've got more in store for you right after this.
And now, the 2K Sports Halftime Show.
Hey, this has been a good game here after one half. Everybody, welcome back to the halftime show. Ernie Johnson, Shaq, Kenny Smith. For the Grizzlies, the first quarter was pretty even. During one stretch, they trailed by 7, never falling behind too far. They came out in the second quarter with a renewed focus, playing well enough to take a 2-point lead here at the half. Kenny, what'd you think about the Grizzlies?
You know what jumps out at me? Their efficiency on the offensive end. They shared the basketball. Good shot selection. They showed a lot of patience, and that patience will be tested the rest of the way.
And Shaq, what did you see from Dallas?
They played some solid team basketball, Ernie. Pretty good. They were sharing the ball. We saw some nice feeds, a lot of movement. It wasn't 5 individuals out there. It was one cohesive unit, and they got the assist to show for it. Their rhythm was nice.
That's going to do it for now as the second half is just about ready to get started. We'll see you later.
The third quarter now beginning. Both sides looking to pull away in the last half of the game. Without question, Marc Gasol displaying his skills today.
You just love it when the decision-making is as good as it was there in that first half. Didn't force anything.
Guys, I think here in the second half, though, they may want him to be a little more assertive. Start hunting more for his shot, even the tough.
The Mavericks trailing. Mavs made the playoffs again last season. 14th playoff berth for them in the last 15 years, and only the San Antonio Spurs have made more, Greg, over that time frame.
Yeah, and they had a tough first-round opponent in the number 2 seed, Houston. A good old Texas tussle between the 2 and the 7 seeds.
Randolph is the 4 with Gasol in the middle. A lot of defense with Conley and Lee in the backcourt, and it's Green in at the small forward. That's the lineup out there for the Grizzlies. Now here's Williams. To the inside, Pachulia the pass to Nowitzki. And he was camped in the lane there, and he gets the 3-second call.
Yeah, and you know, the Mavs got bounced out by the Rockets in 5 games in round 1. They were able to avoid the sweep, but losing the first 3 was way too much to overcome.
Gasol with it. Pachulia covering. And here's Conley outside. No good. Here's Williams. The scoring numbers have been solid for him. He's averaging just under 14 points a game. Shot's good. Williams has got his second bucket tonight.
And for Dallas in the playoffs, really it didn't help to have the Rondo drama going on at the time. Even if that hadn't happened, though, you got the feeling that they were overmatched against a red-hot Houston team.
That doesn't go either for Green. Well, they're really making a point of keeping the ball moving around.
Yeah, you got to love this teamwork. I mean, everybody's involved and engaged. It's just a thing of beauty to watch.
It is, and Clark, that's the key. The D can't focus on one player, and no matter what anybody tells you, that ball will always move quicker than the defender. And Dirk Nowitzki last season, I felt like the first time we saw real signs of wear and tear from all the years of him playing. His field goal percentage, points per game, rebounds, all off his career averages. And that said, though, he's still a crafty, dangerous guy to have to go up against.
And the Mavericks with some changes. Villanueva comes in for Zaza Pachulia. And Barea subbed in for Matthews. Both free throws good from Nowitzki. Well, going back to Nowitzki, his value at this point of his career cannot be measured by stats alone.
Exactly, and that's what wasn't there last year, that great team of guys around him, because that's really when he's at his very best. He can still fill it up fast, and he's one of the smartest players in the league, too.
It's deflected. Passes it to Randall. On the wing, Green. Covered by Parsons. Here's Randolph, the rim-rattling two-handed jam.
How about that fantastic finish and the aggressive move, too, Kevin?
Trying to send a message, Clark, with that slam, I think.
And I'm not sure if it was text or email, but he definitely threw that one down.
Here is Williams. The Grizzlies making the shot. Nowitzki a screen, and there's the feed to Parsons. He dishes it to Williams. Dallas, no good that time either.
And they're 1 of 4 here to start the second half.
Conley kicks to Randolph. Outside Williams. Nowitzki outside. Back to Williams. 5 on the clock. And here we go. The Grizzlies on a fast break. Conley leading the charge. Kicks to Gasol. Randolph goes in. Now here's Williams. To the middle. Nowitzki outside. It's good. Great play set up by Barea. Barea's got his 3rd assist on the night. Here is Conley. It's a 1-point game. Gasol kicks to Lee. Makes no mistake on the open jump shot. Lee's got 7. Guys, what a back-and-forth game this has been.
You know what? You're right. Neither side has been able to hang on to the lead for any kind of time at all.
And that's already resulted in 7 lead changes.
Well, Memphis loves the grit and grind mentality of this Grizzlies team. We all know that. They are at their most fearsome, I think, right here in the grindhouse.
No doubt about it. Some names just stick. And everyone here knows when you say grindhouse, you're talking about the FedEx Forum. Memphis so strong in this building.
Catching up on the changes for Memphis. White, he's checked in for Gasol. Carter comes in for Jeff Green. And Tony Allen subbed in for Courtney Lee. 3rd quarter action and just under 3.5 minutes have gone. Barea. Terrific design on the pick play, and he lays it in. Barea's got 7 points.
Well, I tell you, last year, guys, the Grizzlies lived up to the nickname of the grindhouse. Top 5 defense here at home, and a lot of close wins that could have gone either way, but they grinded them out.
And those close wins and that blue-collar attitude is really what helped Memphis get to a 31-10 record here at home. I mean, good for 2nd-best home record in that very tough Western Conference.
2 shots.
Clark, Brandon Wright was moving all over the league last year, all over the map, traded twice, once from Dallas to Boston, then again sent to Phoenix where he finished up the season.
Kevin, he was only with Boston for 8 games after the trade. He seemed to find a better home when he was with Phoenix.
And for Wright, being traded twice, he's one of those players that is so efficient, but in small doses. So really the ultimate bitch guy to come in and give you minutes in the post.
That's some more rugged play from them inside. They have a decent edge in rebounds thus far.
And all that hard work on the boards needs to continue because that potentially may swing the game.
Now here is Conley. He has 5. J.J. Barea again. Now it's a 3-point Dallas lead. And what's your take, guys, in the hustle stats for Dallas?
The activity level defensively, I've really been impressed with. There's been an attack mode on the defensive end.
They've repeatedly gotten out on the break tonight as well and scored a lot of baskets in transition.
You know, I think that will ultimately be Wright's role going forward. A great bench option. Despite all the trades, last year he was still extremely efficient as a scorer.
Now here is Carter. There's the dish to Wright. Harris against Allen. Down to 5 on the shot clock. Puts it up from 12. And it's in after a nice bounce off the right side. Wright's got 8 points. The Mavericks have gone 4 of 9 from the floor so far in the third. A 3 from Anderson. It's good. Great play set up by Barea. Barea's got 4 assists in the game. Wright dishes to Allen. Fades away. Can't get it to go. And it's Dallas the other way. 6 seconds separating the shot and game clocks. Parsons' shot is off.
That is some tough defense there against one of the better finishers in our game.
Carter down low, working on Anderson. A nice shot by Carter.
I like the way they're working the ball inside, because when you do that, you get higher percentage shots, and typically good things happen.
Left side Anderson. Misses off the left iron. And as we finish the third quarter, it's still close. Both teams trading baskets. Mavericks lead by 2. And time for the short break, and stay right where you are. The fourth quarter is coming up next. We welcome you back to what has been a good one here as we get into the fourth quarter. Now Udrih on the floor for Dallas starting the fourth quarter here. Matthews out there with Nowitzki. Then there's Pachulia. Then it's Devin Harris. And it's Williams at the 2 spot.
Right back to the basics there, using the one-hand slam for that.
Doesn't he make the basics look pretty exceptional?
Yeah, he does. They look sweet when he does them.
And they better stay with those basics, because this game is still yet to be determined.
Nowitzki's shot's good.
Guys, you know, you're not going to hit that shot too often. That's high risk.
Udrih, the pass to Barnes. To the middle. And there's Udrih. That's good on the assist by Barnes. Udrih has got the game tied up here for the Grizzlies. Dallas shooting at 52% from the field. They're clicking. Harris kicks to Nowitzki. No luck. Great D that time from Green. Fast break Memphis. Here's Lee. Banked in off the glass.
Just no resistance on the inside. That's their 5th consecutive make in the paint.
And Greg, those looks they're allowing are almost automatic.
Now here's Nowitzki. That doesn't go either for Nowitzki. Some firepower, Clark, from his offense.
Yeah, Kevin, how about the air of confidence? I mean, they really look like they believe in what they're doing.
Yeah, they got a nice groove going right now offensively.
And he was fouled in the act of shooting. Chance here now for a 3-point play.
First team foul.
And Memphis making a change here. Conley's checked in, and Dallas with a change here too. Parsons is checked in. And let's take a moment, guys, to get your take on the scoring so far for Memphis.
Guys, their play close to the hoop has been great all game.
And I also love the way they move the basketball. Their passing has been outstanding here in the second half.
Now here's Williams. Dishes to Nowitzki. Rejected by Gasol. They get it back. Shot to stop the run. And with that shot, the Grizzly lead is cut down now to just 3 on the basket from Nowitzki.
We've seen a noticeable improvement out of him since halftime. He didn't have a whole lot working in the first half.
Green against Nowitzki. Gasol dishes to Conley. And another miss by Memphis. Lee with the steal. Here's Gasol. It's rebounded by Dallas.
That's a surprise. I mean, really out of character for him to miss when the defense is not right up on it.
It's Matthews on the wing. Can't get it to go. Now the Grizzlies take it the other way. Conley, the pass to Gasol. Again, the miss by Gasol. Mavericks trail by 3. Williams kicks to Matthews. Now the pass to Nowitzki. Loses his man off the screen and lays it up and in.
You know, he was a non-factor in that first half, but now he's making up for lost time.
Over in the corner, Lee. Fourth quarter keeps moving right along. 3 minutes gone so far. And he gets it to go. That's now 8 points for Conley.
Well, with a dead-eye shooter like him, it takes more than average defense to put a stop to it. It takes great defense, and even that might not be enough.
And the Mavericks call time here. Without question, Marc Gasol displaying his skills today.
He's been attacking the rim with reckless abandon. They're searching for answers. Some way they got to figure out how to contain him.
Catch up with Doris from the sideline.
Yes, thanks, guys. I got a chance to hear what Rick Carlisle was saying to the team. He loved the work they were doing on the interior, saying, listen, they've got no answer for us inside, and we're not going to let them off the hook now. Keep pounding it down low.
All right, Doris, thank you very much. The Grizzlies making a switch here. Randolph has checked in. Now here's Matthews. 13 feet away. It's rebounded by Memphis. Gasol's got 5 rebounds tonight. Conley dishes to Randolph. Green, the pass to Gasol. Back to Randolph. So he gets the whistle. Contact on the way up, and 2 shots coming up.
Shooting for Memphis, Zach Randolph. 2 shots.
The first free throw is good. J.J. Barea is checked in for Williams. And Zach Randolph drops them both. Over 3.5 minutes through the final quarter now. Barea kicks to Nowitzki. With the floater, good, and it's Barea who picks up the assist. Barea's got assist number 5 here tonight.
Really hard to find fault with anything he's doing this quarter, at least at the offensive end.
Now here's Conley. It's deflected, and they're able to recover. Out to Lee. A fader. That one is good. He's only missed 1 shot of his 6 taken on the floor.
They're really getting the work done inside with their rebound.
The defensive backboard has been controlled. They have not allowed a lot of second chances. It's been about one and done for the most part. And I'm not talking about leaving college.
Yeah, I know you're not. That's a bunch of good rebounding taking place there, boy.
Dallas calls timeout. They're losing by 7. 1:58 left here in the fourth quarter. Here is Matthews. 1:53 left to play in the final quarter. Puts it up from 12. And good. Got the English that time as it falls.
And this has been purely a display of offense that we're seeing here today.
And, you know, it's only getting better as both of these teams' defenses are starting to show signs of wearing down.
Now, here's Randolph. And Green slams it in.
Kevin, I tell you what, when he gets to the rim like that, he's really hard to stop.
Yeah, he can get up a few notches higher. There's no doubt.
And that's how the game is played on the inside. You can play over the top. You've got a great advantage.
Dallas calls timeout. They're behind by 7. 1:35 left here in the fourth quarter. .135 left in the fourth quarter of this one. Now here's Pachulia, defended by Gasol. Here's the screen. Correa, the pass to Nowitzki. Off target from three-point range.
And you know what? He's just not on his game, no doubt about it. Their deficit isn't totally on him, but he has not been an asset for his team.
Certainly that shot well within his range.
I would hope so.
And especially when he caps it off with the steady one-hand jam.
So the whistle blows on the shot and 2 free throws for the contact right there.
Checking out the game J.J. Barea is having. He has 11 points and 5 assists. He's giving them just what they would have hoped for today.
Even more, I'd say.
At the line of the Grizzlies, J.J. Barea taking 2 shots.
He drops the first one, and that brings them within 8. Tony Allen's checked in for Lee. Second free throw, no good that time. He really wanted that one.
Boy, he'd sure like to have that disc back. Hard to chip away at a lead when you're leaving freebies at the line. And it looks like just playing the last bit of this one out in what should be a nice win here for the Grizzlies.
Clark, looking at both these teams, they're great rebounders, and on any given night, you might not know who would have the advantage on the boards.
Yeah, but they did a better job tonight. They made the most of the extra rebounds, too.
And they took charge when it counted, and they'll be notching their 9th win overall.
And they'll take the win tonight, setting the tone in the first matchup of this 4-game season series.
And it will be a fight, Greg. When you see an opponent that many times, it's inevitable that those games take on a little extra added meaning for the players.
And as we've come to expect, another big game tonight and an impressive exhibit for Gasol. He was really important under the basket, making the plays down low and getting position to pull in rebounds.
He drops the first one, and that brings them within single digits. A different look for Dallas. Charlie Villanueva's checked in for Nowitzki. Anderson comes in for Parsons, and Harris subbed in for Wesley Matthews. Villanueva with the steal, laid in with a nice touch off the glass.
And he found the soft spot in the D on that possession.
And an intentional foul right there. A different look for Dallas. Dirk Nowitzki, he's checked in for Villanueva. Parsons comes in for Anderson, and Wesley Matthews subbed in for Devin Harris. 36 seconds left in the fourth. Conley kicks to Randall. Pachulia with the steal.
Well, it's urgent time right now. This is when they got to come up big.
Yeah, you got to get points here. I mean, there's no way you can get around it. You've got to be able to get baskets here in a short period of time.
And that's an intentional foul.
Shooting for Memphis, Michael Conley.
First free throw is good, and that puts them up by 5. The second one is good. Getting both at the line, and it's a 6-point ball game.
The free throws go down, and the lead goes up.
And the Mavericks call time here. They trail by 6. 24 seconds left in the fourth quarter. On the wing, money! And now they trail by just 4.
Excellent communication on the inbound play there, guys. He got in a good position, and the pass was as it needed to be, on time and on target.
And they need to stop the clock, so there's a foul.
And you know what? Smart foul. You got to try and extend the game.
Sure, it's not over. The clock is as much a problem for them as the score is right now, so they've got to try to manage it.
2 shots.
All right, now, take a break. Take a break. 2 shots.
Good on the first, and that puts them up by 5. He's off on the free throw and able to get that second one to drop in. And so they foul intentionally.
That's his 5th personal foul. Teams in the penalty. Shooting for Memphis, Zach Randolph. 2 shots.
All right, now, gentlemen, 2 shots. 2 shots.
Good on the first, and that increases their lead to 6. And so he drops them both. It's a 7-point game. Guys, a comeback probably not in the cards at this point.
Yeah, unless something dramatic and drastic occurs.
Yeah, I think you can put a fork in it.
Barea. Another miss by Barea.
And you know what? That's one of those heat checks if he's taking shots like that.
Yeah, heat check or not, I don't care how hot he may or may not be, he's not making that one.
This is a serious game-clinching run they're on.
Yeah, I agree with you. Just not backing off here. I mean, they're looking to close this one out in style. What a time to have this kind of serve.
So it's Memphis picking up the win. Some good competition, but the hometown advantage and their ability to stay focused, I think, Clark, made the difference.
Well, you know, at this stage, you've got to defend your home floor, and they did that.
And now let's catch up with Doris Burke, who's standing by on the sideline. Doris?
Well, gentlemen, I'm here with Marc Gasol. And, Mark, how would you break down this game in terms of the team's performance and ability to come away with this win?
Just a good all-around night. We believe that in the fourth quarter, I think we did a good job of, staying in the game. We just believe. On to the next one.
Thank you for the time, sir. Guys, back to you.
Doris, thank you as always. And that'll do it, folks. For Clark, Greg, and Doris, and the rest of our terrific crew, this is Kevin Harlan saying thanks for watching. Now we'll head over to the award-winning Ernie Johnson, who's not too far away. EJ?
The 2K Sports post-game show.
Welcome back, Ernie Johnson, along with Shaq and Kenny the Jet. Let's quickly move forward now to the presentation of our Jordan Player of the Game, Marc Gasol.
Just a sensational performance on a lot of levels, Ernie. Too many levels to talk about. Man, in some game, he's in the background. He doesn't get the chance to be the star of the show, but not tonight. He's the star tonight. Put him on the Hollywood Walk of Fame.
This was a complete performance we witnessed here tonight, Ernie. Hey, Shaq, check this out. On offense and defense, don't you think he led his team better than anyone we've seen in a long time?
Yeah.
He's got to be worn down because all that effort on every possession, it'll tire you out.
And that brings us to the end of our broadcast for this evening. For Kenny Smith, Shaquille O'Neal, Kevin Harlan, and our illustrious 2K Sports crew, this is Ernie Johnson saying good night, and we'll see you again soon, but not soon enough.
the 2K Sports pregame show.
Hello and welcome, everybody. Ernie Johnson, Shaquille O'Neal, Kenny the Jet Smith. We're glad to have you with us on 2K Sports. Tonight, it'll be the Memphis Grizzlies up against the Atlanta Hawks. For Atlanta, it's been all about winning games right now. They've won 8 of their last 10, looking really strong. They've got to be pleased. Marc Gasol will take the floor tonight, the younger Gasol brother. Hasn't won a championship yet, which of course Pau has. But Shaq, would you consider him the top center in the league, Marc Gasol?
He's in the top 2. You know, what I like about his game, there's no weaknesses in his game. Hits all of his shots from anywhere. Makes his free throws at almost 80%. I like to see him be a little bit more meaner, a little bit more dominant. But to answer your question, he's in the top 2, Ernie.
Top 2. Where's he rank with you?
Wow, I'm just trying to figure out who's your one. Is it DeMarcus Cousins?
It sure is.
Oh, I knew he was going there. But he's a great passer. I don't know if Cousins is the passer that Gasol is, but nobody, absolutely no one can defend that hook shot, that old school running hook shot. Almost like Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
Oh, bite your tongue.
Stop it.
What are you doing now?
Okay, it's not like that.
It's like George Mikan.
But it is a hook.
Little George Mikan.
Right. Okay. That's it. Almost time for tip-off. We'll see you next time.
Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
We've got the Grizzlies in Graceland, Memphis, Tennessee, against an Eastern Conference team here at the FedEx Forum. Atlanta right now in the middle of a road trip. They've definitely started the season right with a hot start.
And right now for the Hawks, they've gotten off to a terrific start this year. We knew they were capable of playing terrific basketball, and so far they have not disappointed.
Well, they've gelled right away, and I think it's safe to say this is going to be a big year for them.
A look at Atlanta's opening lineup. Teague and Korver are the guards. Millsap at power forward with Horford at the center. And it's Cephalosha in at the small forward.
Well, he's an undersized center, but he more than makes up for it with some serious leaping ability.
And Al Horford is just a winner, guys. I mean, win 2 NCAA titles at his time playing for Florida. His teammates call him the Godfather because of how calm and quiet he is in terms of his leadership and the mentoring he provides. It's been the same here in the NBA.
Lee kicks to Gasol. Green passes to Lee. Back to Green. Bangs home the trifecta.
A good open look, and he splashes home the 3.
On defense, Memphis coming into this having notched a win against the Rockets in their last game.
And really an emphatic win for them, especially considering that it came in an opponent's building, and there's no question it was their offense that carried them.
I love the way they went and got this game, Greg. I mean, they attacked at every opportunity, never relaxed or sat back, and as a result, they eventually pulled away.
Last season, we saw Al Horford rounding back into form. Good to see that after what had been his second season-ending pectoral muscle tear back in late 2013.
Exactly. I mean, the Hawks just had to bide their time while their best player was out. You saw once he returned, though, he makes a big difference for him.
And for me, Horford, one of the most unappreciated stars in the league. When he's healthy, he's every bit the franchise player because he really has no weakness. He does pretty much everything well on the floor.
And Al Horford drops them both.
And Horford, I mean, this guy does it all on the floor. But for me, his leadership, that's one of those real intangibles. And he's unselfish, all about his teammates and completely focused on winning. So when your best player has that commitment, it has to rub off on the other players.
Atlanta again missing. For Memphis, they've gone 1 of 3 from the field to start this one so far. And Lee with the stuff.
It doesn't really matter who starts the break with how he runs the floor. He seems to always be the one who finishes.
Yeah, he is so fun to watch and how he attacks the rim at full speed like that, man. It's something to behold the way that guy gets to the rim.
Teague. And he finishes nicely on the layup. Teague's got his first basket of the night.
Well, Merry Christmas. I mean, that was a freebie.
Right side Gasol, the feed to Lee. Back to Gasol. Randolph against Millsap. Randolph goes in, rejected by Millsap. Lee against Teague. The dish to Millsap for the three. First shot, first basket. He's out of the blocks fast.
Nice pass that time. What excellent vision by Jeff Teague out there.
All right, let's go over to the sideline with Doris Burke.
I had a chance to talk with head coach Mike Budenholzer. On his mind, the difficult task of defending Zach Randolph. He said Randolph's especially tough because he's not only a go-to scorer on the low block in the pinch post, but also a guy who can pick up a lot of second chance points with his work on the glass. He's a 20 and 10 double-double guy for a reason. We'll have our hands full trying to slow him down. Guys, back to you.
All right, Doris, thanks. For Memphis, they've gone 50% from the field, hitting 3 of 6 since the opening tip. Teague against Conley. Outside Teague. Hits the three-point bomb. Teague's got 5 points so far.
And, you know, the Hawks were great from beyond the arc, but it wasn't just one person. They did a great job of creating a space and really passing up good shots for great ones. And I think that's the mark of a true team.
And it's Korver off the drive. Grizzlies with the rebound. And this game, the first chance they've had to see Atlanta.
And you have to love it when there's a matchup like this. Two teams that are at the top of their respective conferences going at it.
Well, you know, they split their meetings last season, and the way both of these teams love to compete, I wouldn't be surprised if that happened again.
Lee kicks to Conley. He feeds it to Randolph. Randolph missing again. The Hawks leading by 3. Pass to Cephalosha. Takes it off the glass.
Cephalosha. Timeout call for Memphis.
So timeout called here. The first for Memphis.
Kyle Korver, a true laser. I mean, the most efficient catch-and-shoot jump shooter in the league, and maybe in league history. He tallied the second ever 50-50-90 season a year ago.
Catching up on the changes for Memphis. Brandon Wright's checked in for Randolph. Barnes comes in for Jeff Green. Tony Allen's checked in for Courtney Lee. And it's Udrich in for Mike Conley. Bounces high off the rim and drops. Gasol's got his first 2 points. And Korver now in his 13th season in the NBA. Last season was his best ever, especially shooting.
Yeah, and he credits all of his improvement to the advanced off-season training regimen. Extremely dedicated. He moved his family to Santa Barbara to be closer to his trainer, and it's paid off.
Schroeder with the ball. Gasol covering. 6 on the shot clock. Right at the free throw line. And it's Schroeder missing.
Well, I tell you what, that's too good a look to pass up there. Even though it didn't go, that's one you got to take.
Here's Allen. And it's Memphis with another. So it's Atlanta now. They're coming off that win against Minnesota.
And if you look at the numbers, guys, I mean, what jumps out at you is the balance they had offensively.
Very satisfying road win because you're right. There was tremendous balance displayed. I mean, the crowd was basically stunned at how they were able to dismantle that defense.
35 seconds left in the first quarter. Barnes dishes to Gasol. Udrich for 3. They get it back. Here's Wright. And the rebound paying off as they pick up 2 on the second chance bucket right there.
And the rebound and the follow show you what he is all about. Gritty and determined with a soft touch to match.
Scott kicks to Hardaway. Shot from 12. And he gets that one to go off the front iron. Now Udrih. Pass to Allen. And released it in time, but it's off the mark. A free-flowing first quarter. Great scoring through one. It's Atlanta. They're up by 4. The second quarter coming up right after this break, so don't go anywhere. And a chance now to hear from Paul Millsap talking about the confidence of his team. Greg, it's got to be more than just attitude, right? I mean, ultimately, don't you have to have guys step up and produce in some cases or even overproduce?
You do, but really it is about attitude and confidence. I mean, those are the two elements that if you bring to the table, you really will have a chance to beat anyone. And so don't discount that attitude when you're on a roll. They call it getting your swag on today. Back in the day, it was called having your mojo working.
Right.
So same thing, and you can ride that for quite a way.
And the first quarter is in the books. Second about ready to get underway. And what do you guys think about the Hawks here in this one?
And we've really seen them get out and establish a real nice rhythm offensively in this game.
Yeah, and they're finding ways to score multiple ways, playing well and sharing the ball, just operating good at the offensive end.
All fueled up and ready to go. Let's reset the lineups, courtesy of Gatorade, as the second quarter gets going. So on the floor for Memphis, Conley and Allen in the backcourt. Zach Randolph is out there with Green, and it's Carter in at the small forward position. Here's T. After the basket by Tony Allen. Picked by Horford. Korver gets a wide open look, and the three off target. And to nobody's surprise, Zach Randolph enjoyed an outstanding season, Clark, in 14-15.
And, you know, ironically, by taking more of a backseat to front court and make Mark Gasol, Randolph played better, the best rebound rate of his career.
And here's Schroeder. Michael Conley getting his three to go. Schroeder passes to Korver. Here's Millsap. Score it. His third straight basket in 3 tries.
I tell you what, it's almost like stealing to watch how he plays the game from this seat.
Allen kicks to Conley. Three-pointer. It's good for his second make. He's made 2 of 3 so far.
That's the second long-range bomb in the quarter after a slow first period. He is on a roll.
Outside Millsap. Shot from 12. Can't get it to go. And the Grizzlies going the other way now. They host the 76ers after this game. And that game is the second of 2 straight at home. Carter dishes to Randolph. And that misses. That would have put him up.
And he has slipped into a funk, Clark. You can see the confidence is shaken.
Yeah, it really is. I mean, he's very much deflated. The basket looks a lot smaller to him at this point, and the only way you can get out of it is to work yourself out of it.
Now here's Conley, following the miss by Al Horford. From 13, Randolph missing again. Atlanta's gone 3 of 5 from beyond the arc so far tonight. Millsap passes to Schroeder. T kicks to Horford. Nice ball movement here by Atlanta. Horford with a screen on Conley. Here's Schroeder. Outside Korver. Shot clock at 6. Millsap up and in for the basket. Number 4. That makes him 4 for 5 now.
That pass into the paint, that is a work of art there. Dead on target. And guys, you got to love the front court for these Atlanta Hawks. I mean, Al Horford and Paul Millsap both give up a few inches in terms of height, but you won't find a more skilled and versatile front court in the NBA.
Timeout called, the Grizzlies. In addition to going over the game plan and making whatever necessary adjustments have to be made, Greg, this timeout also the time for players to get rehydrated or hydrate for the first time with some Gatorade. Plenty of basketball still to be played here, and they have to get recharged.
That's a great point. Without proper hydration, a player can completely run out of gas down the stretch of a game. And that's something that none of these guys can afford to have happen. If you're going to battle all the way to the finish, you have got to be hydrated.
Well, speaking of the skill of the Atlanta front court, their offense predicated on ball movement, and spacing, and shooting. Unlike San Antonio, Horford and Millsap a perfect fit.
Really, those two enjoy playing together. Excellent chemistry between them because they're both mobile, agile, skilled big guys.
The Grizzlies trail by 4. Lee outside. To the paint, here's Gasol, and he bangs it home with one hand.
And how about the agility coming from the big man? I mean, that's not something we often see from him.
You know, it's never going to be, Greg, a 360 dunk when he goes up with it, but it will be 2 points. We do know that.
You know, you can sacrifice a little athleticism when you've got the size he does.
Here's Cephalosha following the score by Memphis. He got an advantage there off the pick and took it right in.
And they're beginning to just flat out fall apart defensively right now, especially on the interior.
Yeah, and that's 4 straight field goals now, Greg, they've allowed from point-blank range. Can't happen.
Clark, looking around the league, there's no team that teams want to play less than the Memphis Grizzlies. They just wear you down.
Well, they play a physical brand of basketball. They play hard. Everybody's on the same page. And even if you beat the Grizzlies, they take a lot out of you in terms of how they try to wear you down.
And the Grizzlies played so well against all the other playoff teams. Part of it is that they just have a style that matches up well with anyone.
Here's what Atlanta's going with right now. Splitters checked in for Horford. Mike Scott comes in for Paul Millsap. And Justin Holiday subbed in for Kyle Korver. So he gets the whistle. Contact on the way up and 2 shots coming up.
You know, that's the thing with the Memphis Grizzlies. I mean, there isn't a team that gives them too much trouble anywhere in the league. They're good at home and on the road. They're used to playing in tight, low-scoring games, and they create that situation with their deliberate style.
And a chance for just a second to check out the scoring breakdown for the Hawks.
You know, guys, we've really seen them do a lot of damage in the paint so far.
And also another aspect of their game that's been super so far tonight is how they've been sharing the basketball.
And no good on the second free throw, so he goes 0 for 2 there.
Well, I tell you, the Grizzlies guys were really dominant in the first half of the season last year, but after the All-Star break, barely played above 500.
For Atlanta, they've gotten just over 50% of their shots to drop here in the second quarter. They're 5 for 9. They set the screen. T kicks to Holiday. Up off the screen. Powered down with both hands.
And how about the execution on that play? The screen was set up in exactly the right spot.
And the finish wasn't too bad either.
Perfectly designed and perfectly executed.
Green dishes to Gasol. And he takes it in for the layup off a very nice feed. Gasol's got 6 here in this quarter. And Memphis would end up going 16-13 over the back half of last season. Down the stretch, they would only go 5 up and 5 down in the final 10.
Yeah, and Kevin, all those games so important as they jockeyed for position in the West. It was so fluid and volatile down the stretch. They could have been anywhere from a 2nd seed to a 6th on any given day, and they just happened to slump at the wrong time.
And it's the Grizzlies with the ball after the basket by Atlanta. Back to Carter. Outside Conley. Lee kicks to Conley. And he misses the go-ahead basket. The Hawks leading just 1 second between the shot clock and game clock. And Holiday has it in the corner. Back to Teague. Shoots from 14. And Atlanta again with the bucket. 5 seconds left in the first half. Here's Gasol, and a foul called on the shot. Got him on the way up that time, so he'll shoot 2 right here.
Yeah, way to play in attack mode and get to the line.
And, you know, the defense gets their money's worth on that foul, stopping the layup and not giving up the and one.
first one falls for him. Both teams deciding to change it up. That one falls, so he hits both of them. Schroeder. Shot is off. And so it's a close game as we wrap up the first half of basketball. Hawks lead by 2. And we'll be back right after halftime to get the third quarter underway.
The 2K Sports Halftime Show.
Welcome back, everybody, to the 2K Sports Halftime Show. Hope you've been enjoying the excitement so far. Ernie Johnson, Kenny the Jet Smith, Shaquille O'Neal. A competitive matchup for Atlanta in the first quarter. Their biggest lead during the opening period was 5. The second quarter saw them lose just a fraction of the lead they held at the end of the first, as they're now ahead by 2 points at the half. Kenny, what was your take on Atlanta?
Well, they called the right plays, and then they executed them. Great job in the first half. That's why they were so efficient, and they shot so accurately. The defense threw a number of different looks at them, but they were always prepared because they were cool, calm, and efficient.
And Shaq, let's get your input on the Grizzlies.
I think it was their passing that's kept them in the game. You can see it in their assist numbers. They were very, very unselfish. The ball moving from side to side, guys making good cuts. It's enabled them to create a lot of chances. As long as they stay on the same page and keep working together, they got a great chance to take control of this game.
And that's it for halftime, as the second half is just about to get underway. See you after the game.
We have a close ball game on our hands as we get set for the second half of basketball.
We've watched Gasol play great basketball. He's got 10 points, and he's managed to get 4 of his points by way of the free throw line.
And Clark, that might not make the highlight reel, but those are important points nonetheless.
Memphis trailing here.
And guys, you hear about how the Hawks are the jokingly referred to as the Spurs of the East. It has to do with their coach, Mike Budenholzer, who's really brought that philosophy here to Atlanta.
And on the floor for Mike Budenholzer, starting the second half. Millsap at power forward with Horford at the center. Teague and Korver are the guards. And it's Cephalosha in at the 3 slot. Here's Teague. Michael Conley making his last shot. Plenty of space. Cephalosha's shot is good. Cephalosha's got 6 points. On for Coach Budenholzer, Greg. He did spend 19 years with the Spurs, so it makes a lot of sense. Clark, he won 4 titles during his time there in San Antonio.
And Kevin, you can really see how he's adapted and brought the motion offense over to this team, and it's worked well for the Hawks.
Now here's Millsap. 9 points in the game so far. Gasol with the rebound. Lee passes to Conley. And Randolph slams it in.
And that's an example of willpower right there, guys. I mean, grabbing the offensive rebound and then going back up strong.
And GA, in a close game like this where every possession is critical, that could prove to be a very big one.
Boy, it sure could, Kevin. I mean, he salvaged 2 big points for them off that miss. The defense needs to play tight on him, and that's exactly what they did to force that miss. Well done.
Lee dishes to Gasol. And a kind roll that time off the rim as that one falls. Gasol's got 12.
4 of their last 5 makes came off of a high-quality shot inside.
Textbook. Really, when you look at how they're playing, they are having their way down low.
And now the first timeout called here for the Hawks.
And guys, Courtney Lee, not the most flamboyant offensive threat, but he's a steady player at both ends of the floor. Makes threes at a high clip and competes defensively. One of those guys that you don't necessarily win because of, but you sure will win with.
Tony Allen's checked in for Courtney Lee. Now here's Teague. He has 7. Horford kicks to Cephalosha. Foul call that time on the way up. That'll give him 2 chances at the free throw line here. For Atlanta, they have gone 2 of 4 at the free throw line. He misses the free throw. Last season, Atlanta showed just how much fun a team can have playing team basketball, a complete team effort. We use that word a lot. You don't see it much in the NBA, but boy, they epitomized it, Clark.
Yeah, they sure did. Refreshing to see a team do that well collectively without a real superstar. Just a solid group that understood their roles and played them perfectly.
Conley kicks to Allen. The 3-ball. And it's Conley that time on the assist by Allen. Allen's got his 3rd assist on the night. The Hawks trail by 4.
And, folks, it's not like the Hawks didn't have talent. I mean, they did have 4 All-Stars last year. None of them voted in, however.
And it's slammed in by Millsap.
Went for the 2-hander on that slam. That's where the weight room comes into play, Kevin.
I think some urgency from him there.
I think he's sensing that this is a critical time in the game, fellas.
You know, what shows you just how team-oriented the Hawks were last season was this stat. They never had anybody score more than 30 points for them in the game all season. Millsap had 30 points once early in the year, and that was the high mark for the team.
And he isn't the biggest body at 6'8", Clark, but Paul Millsap, very effective.
And part of his being underrated and underestimated, I think, is due to that size. But folks are finally starting to come around. That kind of production he's put up will make that happen. Boy, I tell you what, guys, he's an extremely strong finisher. I'm surprised he wasn't able to power that through the defense.
Teague, the pass to Corker. Kicks it to Millsap. Millsap a screen on Randolph. They set the pick. 6 on the shot clock. Korver dishes to Teague. From deep. And the shot clock expires. 24-second violation.
You know, sometimes the intensity of the game can lead to brain-neutral plays like that, guys.
Memphis leading. Right around 3 minutes into the second half. Here's Gasol. 11 feet out, and he hits it. Gasol's got 14 points for the game.
And Millsap, with over a 7-foot wingspan and also just a great nose for the ball. He gets you rebounds, blocks, and he leads all power forwards in steals pretty much every season.
Now here is Cephalosha. 7 points in the game. Shot clock at 6. Horford with the screen on Conley. Teague drives in. Here's Horford. And the layup falls. 6 points for him.
Just lazy defense on the glass there.
Well, nobody boxed out. Nobody put a body on anybody else. Things like that not only drive the coach crazy, that stuff gets under my skin.
Timeout called, the Grizzlies.
All right, fans.
And speaking of Millsap's defense, I mean, he can switch out and cover perimeter players as well. His smaller stature gives him that versatility, but then the long wingspan allows him to still bang with the biggies.
Catching up on the changes for Memphis. Wright, he's checked in for Randolph. Barnes comes in for Vince Carter. And it's Udrich in for Mike Conley. And the Hawks will go for a different look here. Splitters checked in for Horford. Tim Hardaway Jr. comes in for Cephalosha. Justin Holiday's checked in for Kyle Korver. And Dennis Schroeder subbed in for Jeff Teague. Now here is Hardaway after the Marcus Olmas. For the lead, they get it back. Millsap kicks to Hardaway. To the paint, goes up again. Counter, and he'll have a chance for a three-point play. It's on Tony Allen.
How about the concentration? He gets hit, but stays with the play and gets the finish.
Innovation and improvisation right there, Greg. Finding a way to get that shot to fall after taking the contact.
And Dennis Schroeder out of Germany, his teammates give him a hard time about putting mayonnaise on everything. He eats a turkey burger with mayo before every game. And let me tell you, no need to change because he's settling in just fine.
Here's Udrich. He's had some playing time, but no scoring yet from him. Shoots a three, and he gets it to go.
You know, there's no better sign of how efficiently a team is operating than their assist number. And theirs are fantastic.
Just beautiful when they play the game like this.
Now here's Hardaway. Looking at his numbers, he's averaging about 6.5 points a game. It's deflected and stolen by Wright. And now in transition, it's Barnes. Here we go. And he gets it to go as they call the foul. He's on his way to the line for one more.
Excellent work there in transition.
Yeah, I think it's always better to go early in transition, to attack when it's there, because oftentimes you can beat the defense down the floor.
Scotty's checked in for Paul Millsap. And a closer look here at the scoring breakdown for Memphis.
They keep piling up the assists, and they haven't cooled off at all.
They've also been pounding it inside tonight and coming away with a lot of points in the paint. I call those PIPs.
Now here's Schroeder. The Hawks again can't hit.
Oh, man, you know he'd love to have that one over.
Barnes. Atlanta with the rebound.
That's really too easy a chance to miss, guys. He needs to be more aggressive and focused on his finishes.
Splitter with a screen on Barnes. And that one's good. Schroeder. Schroeder's got it all tied up now for Atlanta.
Perfect screen there. Set him up with a terrific look.
Yeah, I like the fact that the setup was good, the screen was solid, but you also have to look at the fact that the defender didn't do his job as well as he could have.
Now here's Schroeder after the Marcus Olmas. 40 seconds left in the third. And that one's good. Schroeder.
I'll tell you what, the defenders didn't even get a sniff of him on that move to the hoop.
Grizzlies have gone 7 of 12 from the floor since coming out of the break. Memphis moving it around. Here's Barnes. And it falls over the rim and in. Barnes has got his first 2 points of the night.
The assist totals, Kevin, just continue to grow. They're way ahead in that category. Ball movement has been flawless.
Clearly just an example of a different mindset between these teams.
And as it goes out of bounds, Atlanta able to keep the ball here.
Risky pass in a situation like that. Very lucky that wasn't a steal.
Fortunate to get it through. I thought he was headed the other way with that one.
Just 1 second between the shot clock and game clock. 5 to shoot. Holiday, the pass to Schroeder. From 15 feet away, the shot will not go.
And he rushed that one, no doubt about it. To be out of position, you could see the frustration on his face.
It's a tie game in Memphis. And time to step aside quickly, but we'll be back in no time with the start of the fourth quarter. Thanks for joining us again as we get set for the fourth quarter. A terrific game so far. Atlanta's gotten fewer than half of their three-pointers to go down tonight. They're 4 for 9. On the wings, it's Lee and Green. Zach Randolph is out there with Wright, and it's Conley in at the 1 spot. That's the lineup out there for the Grizzlies. And stolen by Wright. Fast break Memphis. Green leading the charge. And Lee with the stuff.
Just enormous, guys. With time winding down, goes for the steal, and then off to the races.
Yeah, that was big time right there, Clark. That's terrific basketball.
Teague dishes to Horford. Stolen by Michael Conley. And again, Memphis running the court in transition. Here's Lee. Foul call that time on the way up. That'll give him 2 chances at the free throw line here.
First team foul.
Hawks were so dominant last year and were the first team to clinch their spot in the postseason.
Hawks also would wrap up the top seed in the East and were able to advance against the Nets in 6 games.
And both free throws good for Lee.
You know, in the second round, the Hawks had a bit of trouble once again with the Wizards. Were able to get by them despite going down 2-1 in that series. It seemed like they were out of gas against the Cavs in the next round.
Down low. Here's Wright. And down it goes, jamming that one home.
It's as if the defenses have just given up.
Yeah, you know, the pace has only picked up the deeper we've gotten into this game, which is remarkable. It speaks to the endurance and stamina of these teams, and it's also been a lot of fun to watch.
And not the prototype power forward, but he has tremendous athletic ability. And really, with the Hawks in the postseason, they just ran out of help. I mean, the Korver injury, the Carroll injury were huge against the Cavs. And when you lose that much talent, you could see why they were swept out in that conference finals. Don't forget, they also lost Cephalosha prior to the playoffs.
Atlanta calls timeout.
And guys, one thing sometimes gets lost. I mean, Mike Conley is a proven winner. Remember, you go back in high school, won 3 state titles, and the one season at Ohio State led them to the national title game. So that aspect of what he brings, the intangibles, you're going to be a winner if Mike Conley's on your roster.
And let's get this update now from Doris Burke, who's across the way on the sideline.
I was able to listen in on what Mike Budenholzer had to say to his team. He told his team to keep looking for three-point opportunities, saying their perimeter defense isn't doing a good job getting out on our shooters. So let's keep firing away until they decide to guard us.
Here's T. The Grizzlies making the shot. Picked by Horford. And T, here we go. The 3 from Korver. Another shot. Millsap. Lee with the steal. Green kicks to Lee. Marvelous lead pass, and he throws it down.
And it's all one-way traffic tonight, boy. They have been lights out offensively.
And there's no telling how big that lead's going to get. But, again, it's just one game, but nonetheless a very impressive one, the way they've handled their business here.
And for Mike Conley, growing up, he played on some tremendously talented teams. Guys like Greg Oden, Josh McRoberts, his teammates.
Yeah, you know, Kevin, he never had to really look for his own offense to win games with those kind of players around him. He came into the league more focused on setting up his teammates, and that's what he does well.
No good. Korver with the defensive effort.
Just tentative in the paint, lacking a little bit of confidence, allowed the defender to recover and contest that shot.
Passes to Millsap. Clock is at 3. The turnaround J. That's good again. His 7th basket. 7 for 10 from the floor.
Really just a tremendous day for him. And if you remember, he was just as good in their last game.
Now a timeout called by Memphis. And just about 3 minutes through the 4th quarter here. Memphis leading by 5. Lee passes to Randolph. It's deflected. Teague drives in. The putback, Horford.
Was there any doubt what he was going to do with that putback? Flush it down.
Oh, that's some energy we just witnessed right there.
And that's the kind of energy you have to display when you want to attack that offensive glass.
Here's Gasol, the rim-rattling two-handed jam.
Fellas, that two-hand monster slam was vicious.
I don't think there was anyone, and I mean anyone, that could have stopped him on that one.
I tell you what, I'm glad they didn't try, because somebody might have got their feelings hurt.
So it's Atlanta now. The Grizzlies making the shot. Korver kicks to Millsap. And that one off the back of the rim and in. Millsap's got 6 here in this quarter. For Memphis, they've gone 6 of 8 from the field in the 4th so far. It's been a great start to this final quarter for them. Conley dishes to Green. That's tipped, and the ball goes out of bounds. Last touch by Horford. Allen's checked in for the Grizzlies.
Tony Allen.
Here's Gasol, and he takes that one up and powers it through.
And he just punishes the D for falling asleep at the wheel.
Yeah, a little disorganized that time, and the result, 2 points in the loudest way possible.
Guys, there has to be better rim protection than that, though. Not very good.
Without question, Marc Gasol displaying his skills today.
He's really taking it to him inside. They got to find a way to slow him down.
Atlanta calls timeout. They double him with Green. Here's Horford. And a big bounce off the rim, but it sinks right in.
You know, it wouldn't be a bad idea to put an extra body on him, get some help when he barrels his way in close. He's such a good finisher. He needs more than one guy to defend him.
Now here's Allen. Back to Conley. Lets the three fly. Rebounded by Cephalosha. The Hawks trail by 3. And here is Teague. Horford kicks to Cephalosha. The jump hook. It's a big height bounce and goes in.
And you can sense things now starting to tighten up. Their offense has become unstoppable.
And Greg, I'm not quite... And you talk about momentum. That sort of action delivers a type of energy to your team that you just can't quantify.
You know what? I'm going to quantify it right now, Clark. And this is a close game, and that was something special.
And really,
Good try.
In a game, you guys, in a game like this, though, when you have a chance to send a message, you do. And boy, did he ever on that play.
And that replay is sponsored by Kia, the Kia Slam Cam, giving us a great look at that one. .121 left to play here in the fourth. Stolen by Randolph. It's tipped. Cephalosha with the steal. Outside Teague. And here's Korver from the arc. Can't get it to go.
Been a real difficult game for him offensively, and it's costing.
The pass to Allen. Knocked away. Korver with it. Outside Millsap. Atlanta again missing. And the Grizzlies with possession here. Conley kicks to Randolph. They kick it out to Green. Pulls up from the corner. Yes!
Green.
30 seconds left in the fourth.
No time to spare. They need a bucket.
Without question. Then maybe a steal or a foul to get the clock stopped as well.
You know, he almost pulled the trigger on that possession, but recognized that there was a better option. That's what we mean by playing for your teammate.
And they foul intentionally. They're going to have to do that now again and again. They're not in the penalty yet. Lee's checked in for Tony Allen. And now we've got the intentional foul.
Yeah, you have to do that, though. You can't just let him dribble the game out.
Exactly. I mean, you got to stop the clock any way possible and hope they alligator arm a few of those free throws.
So he goes 2 for 2 at the line, and it's a 5-point game.
That was a critical trip to the strike. They have a 2-possession lead now.
Atlanta calls timeout. They're trailing by 5. There's 21 seconds left in the fourth quarter. Guys, your thoughts?
Yeah, coaches tell them take the easy points in a hurry and then foul as soon as possible.
Yeah, but you don't want to foul blindly, though. I think teams make a mistake when they do that. Go for the steal. See if you can force a mistake. And then see what happens after that.
Here's Horford. And that one hits back iron. And here are the Grizzlies with it. It's a 5-point game. Randolph. And again, Memphis no good. In the corner, Cephalosha with it. Teague with a clean look. And a miss there on the triple. So it's Memphis picking up the win. It was up for grabs right until the final seconds, Clark.
You know what? They showed their character in crunch time, though, doing what had to be done to send these fans home happy.
And a chance now to send you over to Doris Burke, standing by on the sideline. Doris?
Well, Mark, this team seems to have a rhythm going and building on some great momentum. What's been the key to the success this group is having?
We're working. You know, we sacrificing for each other. I think we're doing a better job on that. And, you know, we don't get much practice, but we're getting good work in.
Well, congratulations, Mark. Keep it going. Guys, over to you.
Thank you, Doris. Great interview once again. And that about wraps it up. This is Kevin Harlan thanking you for watching. And now the award-winning Ernie Johnson will take it from here. We'll see you next time.
The 2K Sports postgame show.
Thank you, Kevin. And now we get a chance to present our Jordan Player of the Game, Mike Conley.
Just a sensational performance on a lot of levels, Ernie. Too many levels to talk about. Man, in some game, he's in the background. He doesn't get the chance to be the star of the show, but not tonight. He's the star tonight. Put him on the Hollywood Walk of Fame.
When you're having a night shooting in the high 50s, you're being efficient with your shot selection. He played smart basketball tonight, really made each possession count. He was the difference maker.
And folks, that's it for us. Thank you for tuning in. Always a pleasure. For Kenny the Jet Smith, for Shaquille O'Neal, this is Ernie Johnson. Have a great night.
Think you wanna get rich? You don't really want it.